Sometimes we just get lucky, and today is one of those days. Andy from Audio Frog sent us the new Audio Frog A150.4D High Fidelity Class D amplifier. That's right, we've been waiting for Andy to make these for years, and we finally have one in our hands. Now, I did get the opportunity to listen to 8 of these, that's right, 8 of these in his Mercedes while at the Vegas Knowledge Fest, and it sounded wonderful. I asked him if I could bring one home and share it with you guys. He's like, yo, totally dude, enjoy. Let's unbox this thing, let's hook it up to the dyno. We're gonna put it in Fernando's car as a stereo lab, and we're gonna see what this thing will do for us, so stay tuned. Inside we'll find the owner's manual. There's 2 amplifiers in this series. This one, the A150.4D, the 4-channel, and the mono block, the A600.1. I'm assuming at some point these will be on the website for you to download and read. Probably a good idea to do that. One of the things that I thought was interesting here on the back page was the bass knob. One of the biggest complaints we get when doing multiple sub-amplifiers is, can I daisy chain the bass knobs? And the answer is always no. And he made sure that in these, you actually can. On this back page here, it explains on how you can daisy chain multiples of these sub amplifiers together to work off of one bass knob. It has the high level input. Now, if you're privileged enough to get one of these amplifiers, you're gonna be shocked at how heavy this thing is. I mean, it weighs a ton. It does have a piece of protective film over this in order to keep you from scratching the mirrored black finish behind it, which we're not gonna pull off because we're giving this amplifier back. The overall size of this amplifier, to start with, is it's small. It is very small. We're looking at 8 1/8 by 4 1/4 by 1 1/4 thick. And it's all amplifier. It is just packed. Underneath this panel here is where all our controls are. And there's 2 Phillips screws that we need to remove in order to get to it. But before we do that, let's take a look at the end of the amplifier. We have 4-gauge power and ground input with remote turn on. Our high level input connector is located here. Our 4 RCAs come next. And then our 8 speaker wires are located on this end. If you'll notice, there's no markings or anything like this on the amplifier. They are all located up underneath this panel. The logo does come out, which is awesome. It means if you're going to be mounting the amplifier like this, you can. Or like this, you can. Or it's acrylic. So if you'd like to make your own, you can do that also. The tray that holds it is made out of aluminum. And as you can see, there's a ton of controls on this. It is jam-packed. So let's get real close and see what each one of these things are. Ground comes first, followed by 12 volts, and then remote turn on. When looking at the high level input plug, towards the power section is going to be negative, towards the RCA sections are going to be positive. Channel 1 on the top, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. Our low level inputs are broken into channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. Sliding the amplifier over, we have our speaker located here. These are Phillips head screw inputs, and it uses that U-shaped, as you tighten up, it pulls the wire in. Channel 1 positive, negative, 2 positive, negative, 3 positive, negative, 4 positive, negative. Nice simple layout across the power side. Now we'll dig deep into all the switches and dials that this has on it. This is a real system builder style amplifier. First is our remote turn on section. How do we want this amplifier to turn on? If we're using our high level input, are we going to be using DC offset, or are we going to be using a regular 12 volt input? You have signal sense, DC offset, and remote turn on. The reason why that's important is that not all cars use a reliable DC offset, so you may have to feed it with some form of remote, and having the ability to choose one of those is really nice. We'll come back to the dials. Let's look at the switches. Low pass, 1 times, 10 times. High pass, 1 time, 10 times. This means that these frequencies here, which are 50 to 500 and 20 to 400, we can either leave them at face value, or if we select one of these switches, we'll multiply them by 10. That means that each set of channels here has bandpass capability, and that is located next here where it says filter type. High pass, none, or bandpass. Located next to that is your input configuration. 3-channel input, 2-channel input, or 4-channel input. Following that, we go into the next identical set of crossovers as channel 1. Filter type, high pass, none, and bandpass. 1 time, 10 times high pass switch. Crossover, 20 to 400. The low pass 1 or 10 time multiplier switch, and the low pass 50 to 500 Hertz. The groups of channels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are identical. You can do all kinds of things with them. If you want it just to have this run mid bass, you can have it run just mid bass. If you want it to do an active front stage where you have a mid bass and a tweeter, you can do that. If you just want it to run all tweeters, you can do that. This can be run any way you want, and it doesn't matter whether you're using the front inputs or the rear inputs. If you like to put your tweeters on 1 and 2 and your mid bass on 3 and 4, or vice versa, you can do that without any problems. They are pairs though, so you do have to make sure that channel 1 and 2 are doing the same thing. Moving down in the last section, we have min-max input level control for channels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Input sensitivity on those is going to be 0.5 volts all the way up to 10 volts. Located next to those is your red protect and your green power. On the back page of the owner's manual, it gives you all the specifications for the amplifier, such as power output at 4 ohms, which is 100 watts, 2 ohms is 150, and if you were to bridge the amplifier, which it will do, you'll get 300 watts. The crossover type is a 12 dB Butterworth crossover. They are both 60 amps of current draw. In typical Audio Frog fashion, there's a lot of information, and that's why I had recommended downloading and reading the owner's manual. They break apart all the stuff we talked about, the crossovers, how to set it up. They give you drawings of both of the amplifiers and how it operates and what each thing means. If you didn't watch the video and understand what I meant, it's all right here. Now, normally at this point, we would take the amplifier apart and show you the inside. However, Andy asked us not to do that because of the design of this amplifier, but he was kind enough to send us photos of what the amplifier looks like. Normally you'd flip the amplifier over, pull these screws off, and you could see the inside of the amplifier like a lot of amplifiers we've taken apart. Unfortunately, that's not the way this amplifier was designed. The circuit board is actually on the bottom, so if we take this amplifier off, as you can see here in the picture, there's nothing to see. This was designed so that it is sitting up, unlike a conventional amplifier design. Now we'll look at the second picture here, and we can see these little brass tabs. These are little pads that are designed to connect the heatsink here to those pieces that are on the 4-layer circuit board. It allows the heat to rise up through those and take full advantage of the heatsink. Another thing that he pointed out that was unique is, if you'll notice, on both sides there is a copper band going around the amplifier, and on the top you'll notice that it goes on the inside of the crossover signal section. That is an EMF filter that is designed to reduce noise and let your FM actually work. With that done, let's take it over to the amp dyno, let's hook it up and see what kind of power this thing does. And then after that, we're going to put it into the lab, see how it sounds. Certified dyno run at 4 ohms. 130 and 131 watts at that 4 ohms at 13.48 volts. Certified dyno run at 2 ohms. 203 and 208. Uncertified 4 ohm dyno run is next, with a 130 and a 131 at 4 ohms. 13.49 volts. Uncertified 2 ohm is next. .211 and 208. Dynamic burst mode is next at 4 ohm. That gave us a 128 and a 138 at 4 ohms, 13.5 volts. Now for the final test, the dynamic burst mode into 2 ohms. That gave us a 206, a 208, 2 ohms, 13.43 volts. This thing is packed full of power. Let's get it over into the lab and see what it sounds like. Let's join Fernando in the lab. Right now we got a really nice set of components in here, and that's what we're gonna be running. He's got the amplifier in the lab, wired up. Let's take a look. It's got the power hooked up. We're gonna use our orange stripe here as tweeter, our black stripe here as mid-range. The DD1, the CC1 are ready to go. The first step will be setting our maximum level on the amplifier, and then we'll jump over to setting our crossover points, and then we'll hop in the car and listen to it. Sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's get started. Power light is on. 1000 hertz, -5. For doing this, we're using the 2-channel input. We're just running one set of RCAs. Our crossovers are all still off. We're not connected to speakers yet. Turn it up, have our signal detected. For those of you guys who've never seen this before, we're running the Sony GS9 as our head unit. Channel 1 gain control is located right here. Our red light is on. Moving over to channels 3 and 4. Now we know our maximum distortion level. We can always go down from here, but we're set there. We know how Fernando feels about tweeters. Chances are good he's gonna wanna get all the power that this thing has to those. Tweeter's gonna be powered off of channels 1 and 2, which is this side of the amplifier. We're gonna be using it as high pass because it's just for tweeters. Change it from 1 time to 10 time. We'll be using this crossover pot here to adjust our tweeter crossover point. Select HP for our filter type. For the crossover calibrator, we'll be playing a 2600 Hertz test tone. Start turning it up. All right, we have signal, turn it down. Select read. Adjust this until the blue light in the middle turns on. Ooh, that one was nice and solid. Way to go. That's done. We'll now disconnect from the front wires and connect to our rear wires. For channels 3 and 4, we need to create a band pass, which is we need there to be a high pass filter of 80 Hertz and a low pass filter of 2600 Hertz to match up with our tweeter crossover. We need to set those at 2 different times. Our high pass is going to be on the 1 times and our low pass is going to be on the 10 times. Since we've just played 2600 Hertz, it makes sense to set our band pass top first. So we'll select BP on the filter type. Press play, select read. And there we go for our top for our mid bass. Now select filter type high pass, and for this we'll be adjusting the high pass gain pot. Select read. There we go. The high pass set. Go back to the filter type and put it back to band pass. This bad boy is all set up and ready to go. That means it's time to hop in the car, play some music, and take a listen to this thing. I can't wait. So through the magic of video, where you were a second ago was actually yesterday. We waited a whole day before we came here and sat inside the car because I wanted to make sure Fernando got a good amount of time with the Audio Frog amp before we had this conversation. Now I've been sitting in here listening to it while he was outside working on a car. So I've had my time with the amplifier to kind of, you know, get my feelings for it and all that good stuff. He got more time with it.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, last night. And I thought that was a good idea. I didn't want to just rush into a quick decision like this. We had an extra day, so it was like, why not, right?
Yeah.
So the first question everyone's gonna ask is, do you like the way it sounds?
I like the way it sounds, yes.
The hard question everybody is gonna ask you is, high quality D-class amplifier versus AB amplifier. And that's gonna be a hard one, because even I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate of, like, I just want a really nice amplifier. I don't care what A, B, C, D, E, F, G is on it.
It sounds really nice. Definitely I enjoy it. Very powerful, small, powerful amplifier. It's insane.
It packs a punch. The snap that you get from this amplifier is just like, holy crap. That song that we demo where it has that high frequency snap, it has no problem playing that. It's really smooth. We have big tweeters in here that is just eating it up, and you can hear everything with these tweeters. I mean, the resolution is phenomenal.
Yes, it is. I like it.
There you go, you have it. He likes it. If you're looking for a high quality, small footprint, tons of power having amplifier, this guy might be for you. I don't know what else I can say about it than thank you, Andy at Audio Frog, from letting us get to play with this. And
for a little bit,
yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably gonna end up buying a set of these just because they're nice amplifiers. They sound really
good,
and they're so small. We're gonna end it there. If you're interested, make sure you head over to audiofrog.com. Check them out. You guys have a great night as always. Fernando.
On to the next one, guys.
We'll see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh, rolling out with music.